Hi folks, I thought I'd tell you a little bit about the stuff that I scored at the Chicago Pen Show. I could only stay for a day and a couple hours in the morning, but I still managed to spend plenty of money and see a lot of friends. It was a great time. First, I want to talk about this notebook, which I got from Anderson Pens. I'm really fond of the A5 size. I find it a really good size for sustained writing, and yet not so big that I don't want to carry it in a backpack or a saddlebag or whatever I happen to have. Saddlebag, like I'm out on my horse, whipping out a pen, writing a story, something like that. Anyway, this is a lot like Apica notebooks, the premium ones, which are among my favorites. But it's got this different, I don't know if you can quite see it here, a different kind of pattern. I'm not even quite sure what it's called. It's sort of a combination between line and grid. The horizontal lines are quite prominent, and then there are some dotted other horizontal lines and vertical lines, and I think I'm really going to enjoy this. The paper's terrific. The size is my usual size. It'll lay pretty flat, and so I dig that. So that's pretty great. I also wanted to get there early because I wanted to get a couple of pens from Jonathan Brooks at Carolina Pen Company, and he sells out really fast. So I got there as early as I could and managed to score 2 pens that I think are just gorgeous. This one. And if you get this in the right light, which I'm probably not going to be able to show you here, some of these areas have a little bit of translucence. And it's just, I mean, these incredible colors. JoWo nibs, which are, sturdy little nibs, do the job. Cartridge converter. And so when he does the glossy finish ones, they're gorgeous. But I find I really like the matte finish on his pens. They just feel interesting and terrific, and you get a great little pen kimono along with it. And then this is the other Carolina pen I got. This is sort of bronzy and some black streaks, and then this light lavender, which really in the light you can really see through it. It's real beautiful. And I got that fitted with a gold nib from Edison, gold flex nib from Edison. Oddly, this was one show where I didn't buy myself another Edison pen. I was kind of overwhelmed with the options. I did get one for a friend and enjoyed some time with Brian and Andrea of Edison Pens, and I'll be buying another Edison in the future, I'm sure. I've been curious about these Leonardo pens, so I picked up the Furore. Beautiful pearlescent kind of light blue color, and I have not yet put ink in this or given this a try, so more reports on how these different pens are performing later. One thing that happened at this show that doesn't happen very often for me that was really fun is I did a trade with this very nice friend of mine named Paul. He was looking for a Sheaffer PFM, and I had one that was a pretty nice one to sell. I don't really know Sheaffer PFM models, so I can't help you out there, but it was a nice one. It was black with gold trim, and it had a factory oblique italic nib that was just beautiful. It was a beautifully writing nib, and he'd been looking for a PFM and I'd been looking for a Nakaya, so we did a trade, and I got this great, I think it's Hekatamanuri Decapod. Now I might not on my own have chosen Hekatamanuri. I actually had a Hekatamanuri Nakaya years ago that I ended up selling to someone, and then she sold it back to me, and then I sold it to her again, and then she ultimately kept it or sold it to somebody else. I don't know, but there's a little back and forth a few years ago. Karen from Alaska. Anyway, but it is a very interesting finish. I just tend to really like the the red colors and stuff, which I can't remember the name of anyway. But it is a beautiful pen. Now again, if I were buying this new, I probably would have gotten a soft medium or a soft fine, and this is a firm fine, which it writes beautifully. I was hoping to be able to find a Nakaya that I could afford And so, and it was fun to let Paul get something he wanted, and I got something I wanted, and everybody was cool with that. Another reason people tend to get to the pen shows early is because at pen shows, Franklin Christoph has a lot of prototypes and onesies and twosies. So I managed to get there, although I didn't get there ahead of my friend Jane, who I think cleared them out of a lot of cool stuff. But I did get there in time to get this, which is another very unique finish. Again, it's a matte finish instead of super shiny. This is the P66 model, which is a desk pen. It's got a flat side here, so it doesn't roll off a desk, and it's a little bit longer. I love this P66 model. And you can also get great semi-customized nibs from when you buy a Franklin Christoph pen with the pen. So I got a cursive italic for that. Also got a special Carolina Blue ink. Got that from Jonathan Brooks. Chicago Pen Show cup. And then what was really sort of my big purchase was this Tatcha pen. Isn't that fabulous? It's faceted, if you can't really tell. So it's a faceted pen with blue lines, black urushi over the blue. I assume that the blue will become more prominent over the years. Nice packaging from Tatcha. Aziza at Gourmet Pens did a review of a slightly different version of this pen not long ago, so you can look for that. Maybe I'll add it in the notes, add a link in the notes. There's also a wide lines version, and that's what she did the review of. But this is just, the nib on this is great. I think Tatcha's nibs are being made by Sailor, so it's really quite fun. This is what I spent much of last night writing with. Also, while I was there, Richard Binder was at the show customizing nibs, so I got a Visconti Homo Sapiens customized by him into a cursive italic, and that was really fun. I used to get lots of pens done by Richard, but he doesn't take in pens via mail to modify anymore. He only does does his nib grinding, it shows, but his work is really extraordinary. So if you get a chance to get a nib modified by Richard Binder, go for it. And then I thought, oh, I also got a little, my friend Mike got me a little bottle of Tatcha ink. This is an interesting ink. It's, I don't know, I have no idea what this is called, Uguso or something like that. It's green, and when you write with it, it's this deep, rich, bright green, and then it dries to a green that's a lot more like this and kind of matte. So I really wanted the brighter color, but it seems to be a very well-behaved, nicely flowing ink, and I like these little bottles, very Sailor-esque bottles. So that was kind of fun. I wanted to get some Ackerman ink, but they didn't. But Van Ness, who has a lot of Ackerman inks at shows, Van Ness did not have the particular colors I was looking for with them. So rather than go for something I only kind of wanted, I thought I'd wait and just do a mail order from them. So I thought I was done, and then I was about to leave, and I had seen this pen before that I thought was pretty cool. But it was just a little bit more than I wanted to pay for a steel nibbed pen and a maker that I didn't really know. But I just couldn't quite get it out of my head. So just before I left, I got one more pen from Hinze, and they were terrific to work with. Again, I didn't really know them before. Jim Hinze is the pen maker from Texas, and they let you know that. And of course, when you see this pen, you'll know why I had to get it. It's like a fantastic tie-dye pen, and I will do a review when I get some time. I'll do a longer review of some of these pens. This one for sure. Look at that cool thing on the end. But just to start, not only is it like as close to a tie-dye pen as one can get. I love the rich, fabulous colors, but it has a couple of also interesting features. One, they have colored anodized nibs. Now I have to tell you, I'm suspicious. I'm worried that the anodizing of the nibs is going to give them some flow issues, but I played with it at the table and it seemed to be working great, and they say they work great, and they certainly look fun especially on a pen like this. But here's another thing, and I do not normally post pens, but sometimes you're on a plane or something and keeping track of the cap is a pain in the ass. So I shouldn't say ask, it's the YouTube, it's children's channel. Well, anyway, they've designed it so there are threads up here, so if you want to post the pen, you can, and then you have a smooth barrel. And for me, it's slightly back weighted, but not uncomfortably so. And I love that design on a pen, when you can post it without sort of changing the feel of the barrel, and you can post it quite securely. So for somebody who's not normally a poster of pens, this is a fun feature that might make me use this posted more often. So anyway, that's just a short view of my pen show haul. It was a great show. I had a lot of fun, spent a lot of time with my friend Mike there. And also, I've been doing this pen thing for 15 years now. I think my first pen show was probably in 2006. And I'd been collecting for a year or two before that, so not quite 15 years. And a lot of people that I first bought pens from and first knew in the pen world have actually passed away, or they've gotten out of the business. But there are some folks who've been around for a long time, and it's always fun to see them. And it's fun to see that there are a lot of new people involved in pen collecting in the pen world now. So it was really a great trip. One of the special things is, back in the day when I did a lot of trading on Pentrace, one person that I traded with a couple of times, Murti, was there, and I hadn't seen him in 10 years, and we just smiled at each other and gave each other big hugs. And it's funny how this hobby that people find pretty silly makes you a certain kind of friend. And that's really the best part of the whole deal. Of course, riding with these beautiful instruments is great too. And coming home to your doggy. Yep, Callie, say hi. Coming home to your doggy is pretty great as well. I'll tell you more about the pens later.